Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory?
Hello, my little friend. Just a quick interruption before your story. If you want your name in a story, go to the links down below. There's a Heidi, Cherry and Vaya link and a Tucker and Leo link, okay? They will take you to my Patreon page where you have to pay a little bit of money each month. So talk to your mum and dad about it and see if they're okay with it. If they are, then you get to have your name in a story. How about that then? Anyway, enjoy your story that you're going to listen to right now. Have a wonderful night. I love you a lot. Take care. Bye. Go to the links down below. Bye, honey.
Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Get all snuggly in your bed. Lie down so that you can let the world around just disappear. It's time to relax your body and be still and quiet while you listen to the story. Heidi, Cherry and Vaya were having a sleepover. They'd gone over to Josh's house. Josh had a little sister called Lily, and they got some friends over, Chevy and Scout, and then there was Bo and Eve. They were all in Josh's bedroom discussing Josh's new unicorn gummies. Unicorn gummies was something his mom had got him. They were to help him to just be very calm, to release any anxiety or stress, to help him get comfortable and sleepy at nighttime so he could relax his body. And they happened to be all different colours, like rainbow colours, in the shape of unicorns, which Cherry thought was brilliant. OMG. OMG, these are so snazzy. They're so cute. I wish I had these. I'm going to tell my mum to buy me these unicorny gummy things because I want to be calm at night time. Sometimes I have such a hard time going to sleep. Can't tell you. You know, you just lay there in bed, don't you? Start thinking about your day. You start thinking about that conversation you had with your friend that didn't go so well, and you're like, oh, I was such an idiot. Well, no, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, Cherry. You should say, no, I wasn't an idiot, because that's not a very nice word. I was just not very nice, or no, I wasn't very caring, or maybe I should have said it a better way. Or like, you lay there sometimes when you've had a good day, and you're just thinking about how great your day was, and you can't stop laughing because you're like, oh, it was so funny when Heidi said so and so. And then when Vaya tripped over a new princess dress and she went flying across the room, and I was like, I'm not supposed to laugh, but it was so funny. And then, like, you just can't sleep, can you? Because you just lay there thinking and thinking and thinking, and your brain is like, brain, shut up, brain. And your brain's like, no, Cherry, no, I'm not shutting up. I'm going to go on and on and on and on and on. Do you get like that, Josh? Josh said, actually, yeah. And then Eve said, I'm the same. And I get so stressed about stuff. And then I start thinking about everything I should have done better. Oh, don't tell me about that one, said Bo. Me, I'm such a perfectionist. I have to do everything right. And if I don't do it right, then I have to redo it and do it again and redo it and do it again. And Eve said, me, I'm the exact same. Heidi said, I have a little bit of that tendency. I must admit, being a perfectionist can be annoying sometimes, but you really want to get things right all the time, so you try and do it as perfect as you possibly can. Cherry's like, OMG, I know exactly what you mean. You know what though? It's not healthy, is it? Because you know when you don't do it right and you're not exactly right and you're not so perfect, or you're not like the bestest in the class, or you're not like, oh, I'm so good at that. And then sometimes you realise that you're not, which is like my favourite thing to do. Then, you know, you're like hard on yourself, aren't you? And you're like, why am I being so hard on myself? Everyone's perfect really in their own way, aren't they? Vaya said, that's exactly what I was thinking. Lily, who was 5, said, "I think I'm perfect at everything." Cherry said, "You go, girl. I do too, but sometimes when you get a little bit older, Lily, you realise that you're not. But you shouldn't, should you? You should stay 5, and you should be like, I am perfect. I'm perfect at everything, and even if I make a mistake, it's a perfect mistake. I don't know why I'm like, OMG, Cherry, that was so silly, you didn't do it right. OMG, Cherry, you should have done it better. OMG, Cherry, you're just not good enough." And I'm like, I must admit, most of the time I know I'm amazing. Most of the time I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. I am amazing. I'm absolutely brilliant. And then it has to be somebody on the outside that says, "Cherry, you're not." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And I'm like, Cherry, am I? Am I really brilliant all the time? Am I really so perfect all the time? Josh said, "Yeah, and then when you're not, you start to get stressed. And then you can't sleep. So this is why my mum bought me the gummies. And at the end of the day, they're really safe. And anyone can take them at any age, so even Lily can have them." So me and Lily like to have our unicorn gummies. Well, of course, sometimes it takes listening to Cory's meditations to go to sleep, but we can go to sleep a bit better than we would have done without the calm unicorn gummies. Cherry said, "Do you think, Josh, do you think that me, Vaya, and Heidi, and Eve, and Bo, and your sister Lily, and all of us together could take one of your unicorn gummies? Do you think that would be all right?" Josh said, "Yeah, I think that's okay. Because Mum said it's okay because they're safe. So yeah, you should be fine." Heidi said, "I think you should ask your mum just in case." So Josh went out of the room and went to check with his mum to see if it was okay that everybody at the sleepover had one of his nighttime gummies. His mum said it was fine, so when he came back in the room, Josh gave everyone a gummy. They all chewed on the gummies, which tasted delicious. And then instantly, as soon as Cherry swallowed it, she said, "Oh, I feel so calm. I feel so calm. I can feel it already." Heidi said, "Well, I think that's a little bit fast, Cherry. It might take a few minutes." Cherry said, No, I can feel it. I'm so sensitive to stuff like this, My body is like a temple. From doing all of that meditating, it's like a temple. And, now I'm like, sugar, too much sugar, too much sugar, too much sugar, too much sugar. And I can feel myself running all over the walls. But this is like, it's like an instant calm cup of tea. What's that tea, Heidi? What's that tea that makes you feel calm? Heidi said, chamomile? Yeah, that one. Feels like I just had a big giant pot of chamomile tea. My muscles in my shoulders are already relaxing. My temples are relaxing. My fingers and my toes are relaxing. You know what? I just had a brilliant idea. I said we all lay down and start to relax together. And then as the unicorn gummies start to work, it takes us to a very special place, a very magical place. Everyone lay down. Everyone laid down and got comfortable. Vaya said, "Do you think we're going to go somewhere like a unicorn planet?" Lily said, "I want to go there." Vaya said, "Me too." "Right, and so it is," said Cherry. "Let's go to a unicorn planet. Heidi, do you want to take us to a unicorn planet? Josh, do you want to go to a unicorn planet? Chevy, Scout, do you want to go to a unicorn planet? Everybody, do you want to go to a unicorn planet in your dreams?" Everyone agreed that going to the unicorn planet in the dreams sounded absolutely OMG amazing. So they all got comfortable. They all snuggled down together to relax their bodies and be calm from the unicorn gummy. "It was time to have unicorn dreams," said Heidi. "Close your eyes. Lay very, very still and quiet. Close your eyes and start to see a rainbow inside of your mind. a giant rainbow in the sky. A rainbow that fills the whole sky with red and yellow and pink and green and orange and purple and blue. Everyone closed their eyes. They could see the rainbow in their minds. Heidi said, "Once you see the rainbow, I want you to imagine that the rainbow is a waterfall falling from the sky. The waterfall is the colors of the rainbow. When I count to 3 and I click my fingers, you'll be able to walk through the bottom of the waterfall. And when you get to the other side, you will be in Unicorn Planet. Ready to go through the unicorn rainbow waterfall. 1, 2, 3. Everyone was fast asleep by now. So calm, so comfortable, and so relaxed. Even Heidi started to blur her words a little bit, decided to lay down. She soon fell fast asleep along with everyone else, and they all found themselves in Unicorn Planet. Unicorn Planet was no normal place in the world. It wasn't like going to the supermarket or going on holiday. It didn't look like it belonged anywhere on Earth. It looked like it was in its own dimensional reality. A place far, far away from the world. A place where only special cats and special kids can go in their dreams. Everywhere you looked in Unicorn Planet was unicorns. Big unicorns, little unicorns, fat unicorns, thin unicorns, red colored unicorns, green, blue, yellow, indigo, all the different colors that you could possibly think of were the unicorns there in Unicorn Planet. And each unicorn had its own personality. Some were very, very happy unicorns. Some were very, very angry, nasty unicorns. You wouldn't think that there would be such a thing as a nasty unicorn. But it wasn't like nasty people down on Earth. Nasty unicorns just got a little bit grumpy when they were hungry, and all they had to do were eat unicorn rainbow Skittles, and then they would be totally fine. So it wasn't really that they were nasty unicorns, but to us you would think that unicorns would be happy all the time. But in Unicorn Planet, they were not. If they were hungry. They were hungry unicorns, you could say. Some of the unicorns were silly unicorns, and they would do silly things all day long. Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya found themselves playing with the silly unicorns. They were playing bumper cars, but the cars were the unicorns, and they kept running into each other and bumping into each other, and then they would fall on the ground, and everyone would giggle for the longest time, including the unicorns. And because they were giggling so much, they couldn't get back up, because they were silly unicorns, remember? And silly unicorns are basically silly. Chevy and his friend Scout were playing with the tall unicorns. They were climbing their legs like giant giraffes. And then when they got to the top, they had to climb all the way to the top. And then when they got to the very, very top, where they could touch the tip of the unicorn horn, which took them the longest time because the unicorns were so tall, it was like climbing Mount Everest, that eventually, when they touched the top of the unicorn horn, they had a tickling, buzzing feeling that went through their entire bodies, and the unicorn horns would light up and shine and make siren noises, and everyone in Unicorn Planet would know that someone right then, in that moment, had just climbed one of the tallest unicorns and touched the tip of the unicorn horn. Josh and his little sister Lily were playing on the fat unicorns. The fat unicorns were so fat and so squidgy and so soft, they were awesome. You could jump on them like trampolines. They were jumping on them like trampolines, jumping up and down and up and down and up and down for the longest time. It was so much fun. They all had the bestest time. Bo and Eve had found princess uniforms, and they were playing princess with Vaya. They were all dressing up like princess unicorns, and they all had glittery crystal unicorn horns that were attached to unicorn headbands. They were awesome. Everyone was having the bestest, calmest, most relaxing, comfortable unicorn gummy dreams. They slept and slept and slept and carried on sleeping. They slept even more. They slept so much that when they woke up the next morning, they couldn't believe how awesome they felt. Everyone wanted unicorn gummies. To be calm, to be okay with not being perfect, and to have the bestest unicorn dreams ever. The